Let's talk about, you made a great point before, is like, we don't want to bash people for being Christian. That's definitely not what we want to do. But there's a difference between discernment and judgment, right? So what it says in the Bible, it says, he who sticks his hand to the plow while looking back is not fit for the kingdom of God. It's telling you need to use logic and you get experience. Remember, I was once young and now I'm old and I've never seen the righteous forsaken. It says this in the Bible. You can still use experience. You can still know these things. Steven Crowder is a smart guy. He knows a lot of things, but I guarantee you I know more about female nature than Steven Crowder because he married the first woman he put his in. And that's the problem. That's what happened. And so regardless of what happened here, he trusted in something. He trusted in a God that's telling him, you should be wise. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This idea that I'm just going to leave it all up to them, that's ignorance. There's nothing in the Bible where it says for you to be helpless. No, you should have wisdom. And King Solomon prays for wisdom.
Yeah.
And so why can't we have wisdom when it comes to these things? And what you're not promoting is hedonism. You're promoting discernment. You're promoting experience. The experience you're promoting. Now, I have some clients who are religious, and I tell them, if you don't want to have sex with all these women, it's fine, but you need to have experience, like going on dates and getting to know, this is the action. We talk about the difference between, this is attention you're getting from a woman. This is compliance you're getting from a woman. You think you're getting compliance, you're actually getting attention. When fellas out there, when a woman sends you nudes, that's not compliance, that's attention. She sent those nudes out to 34 other dudes. Okay? Those are just her thumbs. When she shows up at your place, that's compliance. That's why you don't leave you don't leave comments, heart eye emojis on her stuff. You're giving her attention. In return for nothing. I'll give her compliments when she comes to my apartment. When she makes me dinner. Then I'll give her compliments because she's given me compliance, not attention. And that discernment is what a lot of these men don't understand. And so we end up in a situation where the church is, you're going to go to the Wednesday youth group, right? The young adults group. And the young adults group is going to be the guys who stayed, and they stayed a virgin. Because it's much easier for a guy to stay a virgin than a woman. They stayed a virgin. He followed the Lord. And then this other woman, she did porn for a while, and then she came back to the church. But we're putting these two people in the same youth group now. We're putting them in the same young adults group, and we're putting them together. And then in order for me as the church, I got to make this stick somehow. So I'm like, well, she is now absolved of the fact that she did all these things. And so the guy who's a virgin might be like, hey, should I be marrying a woman who's been with this many dudes? And the church is going to be like, well, we absolved her. So yeah, I mean, I guess you're supposed to do that. And that's the problem, because if they don't absolve the woman for her sins, then the church has no real leverage or power. And so then they would lose that whole thing. And in the end, it is that lower status man, or that man who doesn't have any discernment or experience. He's the one who ends up being the victim.
How much of this is also, it's a kind of a peculiarly Christian thing where you're almost abdicating your thought and logic to God and to Christ? Whether, I slept with a ton of guys and ruined some families, but I'm a born again. And then you kind of have an equally dopey, well, gee willikers, shucks howdy, I'm going to do well, and I'm a really...
Ned Flanders.
Well, no, Ned Flanders actually was a badass. If you watch, he was a hard-ass Christian, but in general, where if I just do what God tells me, God will take care of it, an element of fatism. And when you have two people coming in with honest intentions, that works. But
none of this is about religion. It's a cloak. You have one guy who says he's a Christian, another guy who says he's a Christian, and then they utilize this to explain their thinking and behaviors, yet they behave radically differently. The guy who remains a virgin and says it's because of his Christianity, 9 out of 9, that's not the case. It's because of his nature and his upbringing and the information he was provided.
His weirdness.
Precisely. It's not actually because of religion, because the truth of all the religions is most people don't believe. If people actually believed in the religion, we'd all be taking huge risks. Let's go bungee jumping. Let's speed on the highway. I'm going to heaven anyways. When we meet someone who actually believes in religion, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
We think they're weird because they actually believe. When those boys are like, let me strap this to my chest and I'm about to go to my 40 virgins. They're terrifying to us because they actually believe.
Yeah, they believe it, yeah.
These guys do not believe. They're using religion as an explanation for how they are living or what their deficiencies are. And with regards to Steven Crowder, it's an issue of selection. There's two major issues. Number one, the hero in the society, especially for those of us who are upright and traditional and we follow the rules and we go to college, it's, you got married and you stayed married and you maintained those vows, which is to say you stayed in there like a sucker in a 9-to-5 job, waiting to get your retirement pension. That's extraordinarily dumb. And that's what weaklings do. They get into bad situations and they're not strong enough to say, hey, this is not for me. But we've told that story consistently and guys follow it. because they don't know what the alternative is.
Well, let me,
go ahead, Aaron.
Still along the same line that I was making. Okay, so the intention is for rationalization, not having to face up to ownership, the hard work that would come with sleeping with 50 women, rejection and all that other stuff. Where I only see a defense for this traditionalism, think Christians, whatever their motivations might be, is they're the minority. If you look at everything we've talked about, because we're on our third generation now of people getting divorced. Like I think everyone here has seen or has had their parents get divorced, grandparents get divorced. The empirical evidence is
book of numbers.
undeniable.
People need to look
book
at
of numbers,
it.
but
your
then
book of numbers breaks it down fantastically.
Right.
Like the terrible odds.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. But I can't imagine. Here's some guy like, well, do I believe the trad cons or do I believe these empiricist red pill type of people? You just look at the chaos and the blood in the streets with divorce rates, what girls are doing. The internet just shows it to you in 4K. I think the only way you could, in today's world, defend marriage is you would have to have some kind of religious affiliation that allows you to, for lack of better words, abdicate responsibility and believe, oh, God will take care of it and all that. So whether in other words, what I'm saying is I don't really think there's a debate. I think we've won, and you got these holdouts who are delusional or for whatever reason. And to make a point to the audience, any younger man listening or any guy thinking about marriages, you guys are 100%. The laws have changed. We are definitely pro-family, pro-nuclear family, pro-stability, Christianity, good religion, whatever. But these girls are not playing by those same rules. And there's a high percentage of them that are going to feel, I totally believe in
And let me
Jesus.
say this, too, because we've been hypercritical of the Christian faith. Let me also, as someone that grew up in a Muslim household, let me also be honest and let you guys know that, I hate to say it, Islam doesn't prepare you for the modern dating marketplace either. Unfortunately, right, they advocate women be a virgin on her wedding day, etc. And the reality is that's just not going to happen. Like you're going to have to go to a pretty strict Sharia law country to be able to find that.
And she still
even
has
then
to be in the grade.
Yeah. And if you interpret it literally, it could be problematic. My thing is, right, this applies to Judaism as well, right? Let's go with Daily Wire, right? Because they're also super hard on, pushing the trad con marriage, etc., which again, everyone at this table believes in the nuclear family. But we don't agree with pursuing the nuclear family in a volatile environment that's set up for you to fail unless you go in with your eyes wide open. I'm not telling you to not pursue the nuclear family. I'm telling you to know that it could be nuclear if it fails. So my thing is also this. Religion is not going to give you the safety that it once did before. I always say that religion is kind of like training wheels, right? Those training wheels are gone. You better be able to ride that fucking bike from the beginning because the training wheels are no longer there to keep women in line, shame, guilt. All this stuff isn't there anymore. Women are incentivized to be whores thanks to the music, thanks to society. OnlyFans now gives them a financial reason to be whores. We got girls now where we know they're going on podcasts saying, yeah, I sucked this guy's and then I got the in my mouth, then I went back to my other guy, blah, blah. Girls are saying this now to get clicks. Right. So they're advertising themselves as whores. So there's never been a time where women are more comfortable to be promiscuous. So what does that mean? It means that religion is no longer a tool set to defend you from the fuckery. And, Ben Shapiro always says, well, I'm a married man and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what, bro? Now everybody's a Harvard graduate that came from a, Orthodox Jewish family that had the Orthodox Jewish woman set up for him with a setup. Like, it's not going to happen for a lot of guys.
You probably won't leave him because he's rich.
Yeah.
If you know anything about his story, if you know how he met his wife, it's like
both virgins and stuff.
He was just, I'm pursuing, I'm courting you now. And it's like who the fuck?
Like, no girl's going to, could you imagine going up to a girl, say, I'm going to court you? Like, excuse, most of these bitches don't even know what court means. You mean my ticket? Like, what bitch? Like, no. Yes. Like, we're going to go out on a date. Like, they don't even know. So it's like the thing is that the new normal has changed. So, and I'm critical of all the religions for this. None of the religions of the book, unfortunately, prepare you for the modern woman. I hate to say it, man.
Well, so I thinking about it earlier, wisdom, right? So on some level, religion is important because you need structure to handle your daily affairs. Sure. However, without wisdom, there's no application to those, standards. So what's happening here is that people pick and choose what is good for them based off of religion. For example, Christians. Oh, you know what? We're all loving. Come and you can be here, show your love, and we'll support you. But what does the Bible say? It says, listen, that's not what God wants.
It says,
but to be all inclusive, they say, we'll bend the rules for you guys. But again, this is we have to apply wisdom and religion together for it to make sense, which involves dating, getting
and it hurt me to say that. Like, guys, I don't want to have to, say something about a religion I grew up following and my family follow strictly. But I got to be honest, like, Islam does not set you up to deal with Western modern women.
We can all agree. I'm watching Marquett over here. I'm like, I know.
Say something that I noticed.
Yeah, he's going to say. Go please,
because I'm going to bounce off of yours right now because I know what you're going to say.
There's no such thing as a religious woman. When you're dealing with religion, you're dealing with values and principles that you have to stick to.
Yes.
You've heard the phrase, a man of his word. Mm-hmm. You've never heard a woman of her word. Oh, my God. Right? Okay. And I know you know the word. While we're speaking of the Bible, they said in the beginning there was the word.
Yeah.
So there are no women of the word. There are no women who believe in religion. The real failing is of the men who actually don't take on the religion seriously and enforce it. The other thing we have to consider is this. It's actually, keeping with that, it was not the religion and the ideas that kept the woman in line. It was the community.
Yeah.
The community which provides for stigmatization, shame.
Consequences.
Exactly. Her feeling bad about her behaviors. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So unless we have that religious community with men enforcing the ideas and providing consequences.
And other women, too. Instead of enabling in the comments like, you go, girl. No, they should be saying, you fucking.
Right. And they're saying that because the man programmed them. Yes. The woman finds her religion through the man.
Agreed. Yeah.
You could almost say that a real man is the God to the woman.
Mm-hmm. Well, look at it linearly. So God, the man, and the woman. That's how it works.